In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact operating system that I've used to add over 300,000 in profit to my consulting agency whilst freeing up 20 hours per week. Not only am I going to break down case studies of how different clients have used this exact system to add 10, 30, 50, even 70,000 in monthly profits whilst working less, I'm also going to walk you through step by step how you can install a system to create leverage, scale profitably, and reclaim the time frame you deserve. My name is Yeung, and over the past 5 years, I've helped over 300 coaches, agency owners, and advisors to escape the broad scaling trap, where you're forced to grow your business in an unsustainable manner, watch your profit margins disappear whilst working more hours than the average employee, and even start to hate the very business that you built for freedom. If you're making between 6 to 7 figures per year, but feel like you're stuck being the bottleneck, putting out fires all day, and have no idea how you can possibly grow your business without burning out, this system will show you a completely different path forward. We have clients who use the system to go from working 80-hour weeks to taking 1 full week off every quarter. We also have clients who double their revenue and cut their work hours in half whilst increasing their profit margins. As for myself, not only was I able to get time back for deep work, date nights, and fitness, I was also able to finally go on guilt-free vacations again, traveling to places like Yosemite, Bali, Santorini, and LA, whilst daily operations get taken care of without me. Leading up to December 2024, my business broke its quarterly revenue record by 40%, whilst it took 3 weeks off for Christmas to explore the Galapagos Islands and propose to my girlfriend, who's now my fiance. As we dive into the system, let me share with you all the things that I've tried that did not work, and all the pain that I had to go through to figure this out, so that you can scale with leverage and get your freedom back in the fastest way possible. In 2020, I was able to replace my income as a veterinary surgeon with my productivity coaching business. The business kept growing after I went full-time, but it didn't take long until things became unsustainable. Because throughout all my life, I was told that the only way to become successful is to work harder. So there I was doing everything myself: outreaches, appointment setting, content editing, sales calls, client delivery, and all the mundane tasks that drains my soul. I started a business to help more people, make more money, and have the freedom to travel around the world. But there I was, stuck working past 9 p.m., missing family dinners, skipping workouts, and buried in anxiety. That same year, I decided to take a week off for Christmas and almost lost the entire business. Lead flow stopped, over a dozen prospects ghosted me, I lost multiple clients, and revenue took a nosedive, all because I wanted to take a break over Christmas. Knowing that I was running a business that will start breaking apart the moment I stop working, I went ahead and hired multiple business coaches to teach me how to scale. But aside from a buffet of videos, all I got told was to start more conversations, spend more on ads, let sales solve my problems, and hire more people if I run out of time. And that's exactly how I fell into the bro scaling trap. Whilst my business did get bigger, I became a lot more miserable. Not only was I stuck working 80 hours per week, juggling between making sales and keeping up with client fulfillment work, 90% of my hard-earned revenue went into paying businesses' expense rather than paying myself, consisting of rising ad spend, expensive contractors, and overcomplicated tech stacks. On the surface, the business was doing great and the numbers looked good on a Stripe account. But in reality, the business was bloated, unsustainable, and overcomplicated, and it was a living nightmare. So if any of this is relatable to what you're currently experiencing, let me tell you this right now. The answer isn't to work more hours, spend more on ads, or hire more people. If the more equals more mentality is what created the problem in the first place, we can't solve the problem with the same thinking we used to create it. That's why rather than trying to grind our way to freedom, we need simple systems to create leverage so that we can achieve more by doing less. This is what led me to create what is now called the Freedom Flywheel, an operating system to ongoingly reclaim time from low-value tasks and reinvest time into high-leverage activities, so that rather than trading time for money, we can keep getting time back as the business scales up. Having gone through these trials and tribulations, my goal is to help founders build businesses that they actually love, that makes you wake up feeling excited to grow again, and most importantly, a business that does not force you to choose between making money and creating moments with the people who matter most. Because as your business grows, you should get more time back and your life should get better, not worse. That's why I'm so invested into helping coaches, agency owners, and advisors to create leverage and have systems hustle for them. So here's how the Freedom Flywheel works. The Freedom Flywheel consists of three pillars that all begins with a P: people, process, and profitability. And the reason why all three pillars must work in conjunction with each other is because if we only have process and people but no profitability, then we'll simply go big but also go broke at the same time. And if we have process and profitability but no people to handle those processes, then we'll simply be the chief everything officer who does everything ourselves. And if we have people and profitability, but no processes to guide our people to execute daily operations smoothly and independently, then we'll simply end up being the micromanager who's doing everything ourselves whilst paying our people a good salary. So with that being said, let's dive into how each pillar works and how they blend together to create an operating system that allows us to scale in a way that's sustainable, profitable, and also enjoyable. First things first, let's talk about process. What we do not want to do is to have all the information about our business to be stored in our heads rather than on paper. That said, rather than bouncing between different marketing tactics to get clients, bring clients through a highly variable fulfillment process, and have no idea what is working or not working, we need to map out a clear process for acquisition, fulfillment, and optimization. By making sure that these three areas are repeatable, scalable, and clearly mapped out, everyone on your team would know what needs to be done to ongoingly turn strangers into paying clients and paying clients into advocates. And with the optimization process in place, we can accurately measure key metrics and create a feedback loop between actions and results so that instead of making emotional based assumptions, we can make data based decisions around what needs to be optimized and what can be scaled up. Next, there is people. Instead of hiring reactively when we're maxed out and risk wasting a ton of time and money, we want to hire intentionally and support each hire with the right system. To do so, we'll start with a three-tier org chart. By breaking down your team into decision makers, tier 2 managers, and tier 3 doers, we can hire the right people in the right order as your business scales up without risking team bloat. Most clients we work with typically begin by hiring doers so they can delegate all the manual and repetitive work off their plate and free up time. And since they're busy, we do that for them by using our in-house recruitment branch, Done For You Delegation. With Done For You Delegation, we'll hire, onboard, and manage rockstar virtual assistants who are already trained on our playbooks so that you do not have to spend time doing HR work or train them from scratch. Next, we have management. Most entrepreneurs approach management like this: throw SOPs at their team, hope it gets followed, and spend a crazy amount of time checking if things are done on time and correctly. We do things differently with our self-management system because we'll train your VAs to hold themselves accountable and be responsible for reporting actions, outcomes, and areas of improvement. That way, rather than having to watch over your team's shoulders every 30 minutes, you can be a leader instead of a manager and optimize performance according to their reports. Last but not least, this brings us to the third pillar: profitability. The best way to break a business is to force it to scale with unhealthy margins. So here's what we need to do to prevent that from happening. First, we have to implement a framework called the Goal Compass to clarify the most effective pathway to hit each major revenue milestone. Next, with margin protection, we'll clarify qualitative and quantitative metrics that must be maintained for healthy growth so that we won't end up wasting time and money on inefficient processes or overcomplicated tactics. Then we'll install profit models to make sure every strategy, every offer, and every hire we make actually creates more speed and profits rather than creating more bloat and unnecessary expenses. And now that you know how the Freedom Flywheel works, here's how we implement the Freedom Flywheel to our clients' businesses so that regardless of how busy they are, they can use it to get a ton of time back whilst making a ton more profit. This brings me to the trifecta success system, which comprises of three core deliverables: service, systems, and consulting. For service, we'll help you onboard and train rockstar VAs to take over the manual and repetitive tasks across every area of your business, such as content editing, distribution, reaching out to leads, following up with prospects, setting up go high level accounts, building funnels and automations, loading up ad campaigns, updating the pipeline, tracking key metrics, managing emails, etc., etc. With systems, we basically have all the playbooks and processes already built out for agencies, coaching businesses, and online consulting firms. So instead of having you build systems from scratch, we can simply customize our playbooks and processes around your specific business and have your VA execute it for you. And with consulting, as your VAs focus on execution, you and I will be focusing on strategization. With one-on-one touch points, I'll guide you through your very own scan roadmap and help you map out processes and transform your business into a streamlined and scalable asset that supports your vision and the life you want to experience. So, as you can probably sense by now, we take client success very seriously, and a lot of work has gone into creating our trifecta success system. So, I'm not running a coaching program where all you get is a bunch of videos with group calls so big that you essentially get zero one-on-one support. I'm also not just running a recruiting agency either, because there's a difference between hiring a VA and actually creating leverage. So, all that being said, since the proof is in the pudding, let me walk you through exactly what happened when we implemented the Freedom Flywheel with 3 different clients who each had their own unique challenges and skepticisms. First, there's Justin. When we first met, Justin was running a podcast agency and was a classic example of a smart entrepreneur who became stuck as the bottleneck. He was deep in the weeds with no leverage, bouncing between prospecting and client fulfillment. And while he already had a reliable virtual assistant, he still struggled to delegate all the busy work that was piling up on his plate. And we almost didn't work together because he is so maxed out that he didn't even know whether he has the bandwidth to leverage his time alongside his VA. Well, turns out he can, because this is what we did. Number one, we trained his VA to implement a self-managing system, streamlined his acquisition and fulfillment process, and delegated all the manual work involved to his VA, who handled them like a rock star. As a result, Justin was able to buy back 160 hours per month whilst hitting a new revenue record in his agency in the same quarter. Let's hear it in Justin's words.
Some of the one-on-one coaching calls that we did, sometimes I think that it's like it's like 50 to 1 in terms of like what you're paying for what you get. There was a few really key unlocks in a couple of the calls that we did. The system for my VA, like the workflow checklist, that just helps the shit out of us. And I just feel like we tackled like 3 or 4 big picture things. And the result was just that um I have a lot more time. Like, yeah, like just one VA. Like I look at my VA who works a minimum of 160 hours a month, and I just look at all of her tasks and I'm like, those are all tasks that I used to do. And I'm like, if I didn't have a VA, I would still be working 160 hours a month thinking that I'm like all productive when really I'm doing like $8 an hour tasks.
And then there is Sammy. Sammy runs a coaching business helping artists to build their brands and sell their paintings at high ticket prices. When we first connected, Sammy was a classic example of a visionary who needed an integrator. Lots of ideas and big goals, but no structure, systems, or leverage to make it happen. She knew she needed to create leverage in order to bring her big ideas to life, but she almost didn't join because money was tight and she'd hired before, but was still doing everything herself. The good news is we did end up working together, and here is what we did. Number one, we implemented the goal compass, reverse engineering her big targets, clarified key objectives, and shoved everything else that is not a priority into the back burner. Next, we onboarded a marketing and social media assistant to handle all the manual work for her, such as funnel building, CRM management, content editing, outreaches, follow-ups, live training moderation, and course site management. Third step, we documented daily operations in the processes and SOPs so that performance becomes trackable, repeatable, and scalable. Essentially, what we did was create the space and bandwidth needed for Sammy to flow, which allowed her to go all in on launching a summit that basically disrupted her industry. And as you can see from this message sent to us by her marketing assistants, they were able to close 14 clients to the high-ticket program plus 30 sales to their live training recording. What's even more amazing is that they did this with simple systems, lean operations, and zero paid ads, which led up to a 72,000 launch with 90% profit margins. And then there is Sylvia. Sylvia is a mortgage agent who also runs a landlord consulting business. While she was trapped in 80-hour work weeks, she was very hesitant in working together because she'd been burned by coaching programs before and was also wasting $2,000 per month on the marketing agency that brought her zero qualified calls. On top of that, she was micromanaging a $5,000 per month executive assistant who wasn't delivering results. And her biggest fear is that she'll spend another chunk of cash on programs that she had no time to implement and VAs that she had no time to manage. But luckily, we did end up working together. We streamlined her acquisition process and eliminated all the unnecessary complexities that were costing her time and money. And then we systematized her daily operations and documented them into repeatable SOPs, from project management to content editing to CRM management to metric tracking. Last but not least, we replaced her expensive EA with a self-managing virtual assistant. And by using the simple and streamlined processes that we've built, the VA is able to help Sylvia take care of almost everything that's below her hourly rate. And the transformation was emotional. Sylvia went from 80-hour work weeks to 20-hour work weeks, whilst adding $250,000 in profits. And that same year, she also took her kids to 6 family holidays, which was something she never thought would be possible.
I've had lots of coaches over the past few years, and I've been with Michael for the last 18 months. And the level of the help that he's given me to simplify my business has been astronomical. My core belief has always been, Sylvia, work hard, 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 and then you'll get paid money. I was working like 80 hours a week, and now I'm working 80 to 90 hours a month, and I'm making more money. Like, boom, how does that even work? That's crazy to me, right? But he simplifies things, and sometimes you feel a little bit stupid because you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
So picture this. Instead of having to trade time for progress, you're generating multiple times the progress in a fraction of the time. Instead of spending your time bouncing between reactive work as a chief everything officer, your time is free up to engage in deep work and focus on needle movers that are worth your time as the CEO. Instead of checking your phone on dinner tables or pulling up your laptop on vacations, you can fully be present in the moment, creating priceless memories with people who matter most. That is what real freedom looks like. And you'll be able to bring home a lot more profit as a byproduct. Just like how Sai sold out 10 spots to his high-ticket program with his VA handling all the manual work, or how Joe is able to stop working weekends and evenings in her agency whilst doubling profits. This isn't about hustling harder to make more money. It's about having systems, processes, and people work in conjunction with each other so they can finally embrace your role as a founder CEO, investing your time on strategic work and moving a mission forwards whilst actually living life. So if this is something that aligns with your core values and your definition of success, click the link below this video, fill in a quick application, and book a roadmap call with me. On this call, I'll analyze your business's current operations, clarify how you can simplify and streamline your systems for scale, identify who you should hire or fire to run those systems, and put together a custom roadmap that you can use to scale with leverage whilst reclaiming the time freedom you deserve. Towards the end of the call, you can choose whether to implement your custom roadmap by yourself or learn more about what it will look like for us to implement it together with and for you. Given the high-touch nature of how I work, I can only take on 7 clients per month. As you can see, the trifecta success system includes deliverables like one-on-one calls with me, systems that will be customized around your specific business, and done for you VA services. So this isn't some made-up scarcity. It's a constraint that we have put in place to protect client experience. But here's what I believe you and I can both agree on. Every hour you spend doing $10 tasks is costing you time that would otherwise be spent on $10,000 activities. And whilst it's so tempting to just grind harder and say, I am busy, as if it's a valid reason to staying stuck, we all know that being busy will only create linear growth, while systems and leverage leads to exponential growth. And this is exactly what the Freedom Flywheel is designed to create. If this speaks to you and the goals that you have, not just for business, but for a life you want to experience as the business owner, click the link below, fill in a quick application, and book a roadmap call. Even if you don't join our program, you'll end up with your very own custom roadmap with practical steps to create leverage, scale profitably, and get time back. Being someone who hates high-pressure sales calls, I'll only make you an offer only if we mutually agree that working together is the right thing for your goals. Worst case, if all spots are already taken for that month, we'll put you on a wait list and send you some resources to work on in the meantime. Thanks for watching the video and look forward to speaking with you very soon.
Oddly, I was thinking about it this morning, and I was like, this is the friendship or the circle that I've been seeking, but I haven't been finding, which is every time I show up, I get value back, right? I've always been the person that's adding value, and everybody walks away with amazing shit. This is the first time where I feel like, oh man, this is so dope.
I made way more than I can ever imagine on my investment with Michael. Okay, so he's made me more money than I can ever imagine.
I feel like with Michael's mentality of simplifying, creating a hybrid model where you can grow your business, learn how to delegate, and learn how to streamline and create your business as an actual asset.
How I felt when I started working with the EPP program and you, Michael, was like this huge relief. And I'm gonna tell you, and the excitement, but it was like, oh my gosh, finally I'm in the right place. Finally, I know exactly where, not only do I know exactly where I'm going, but I know how I'm gonna get there. I know how I'm gonna do this.
I really feel like having a coach, having someone who can get you out of your own head, give you new perspectives, is vital at every stage of your business. And I think particularly somebody who's looking at EPP and working with you, it's not your typical mindset like, wake up and do gratitude and da-da-da-da. Like, it's not that. It's much more practical.